Welcome back to Insurance Talk Texas. I'm here with my co-host, and we are diving into something today that is, I gotta say, more personal than people might expect from an insurance show. It's April, which means it's Distracted Driving Awareness Month, and we are talking about your phone, your steering wheel, and your insurance premium, because those three things are way more connected than most North Texas drivers realize.
That's exactly where I want to start, because I think people hear distracted driving and they're thinking, okay, safety thing, I've heard the speech, but what they don't always connect is the financial side. A distracted driving ticket doesn't just cost you a fine, it can follow your auto insurance policy for up to 3 years.
Up to 3 years. Say that again for the people in the back.
3 years. A single citation for texting behind the wheel can raise your auto insurance premium by an average of 21 to 27%. Some studies put it even higher depending on your carrier and your existing record. And it doesn't hit you the moment you get the ticket, it hits you at renewal. So you think you're in the clear, and then your policy comes up and suddenly your rate is hundreds of dollars more per year.
And that's exactly the kind of thing the team at Schell Insurance helps their clients understand. You can reach them at 972-423-4546 or online at shellinsurance.com. That's SCHELL insurance.com. They're an independent agency serving Frisco, McKinney, Plano, Prosper, Allen, all of Collin and Denton County, and they know how different carriers handle these violations, which is a huge piece of this conversation.
And it matters so much because not every insurer treats a distracted driving citation the same way. One company might surcharge you aggressively. Another might be more lenient, especially if you've got a clean record otherwise. If you don't have somebody shopping multiple carriers on your behalf, you're just stuck with whatever your current insurer decides to charge you. That's the real value of an independent agent.
Let's back up and talk about what we mean legally in Texas, because there's a lot of confusion about what's actually against the law here.
Right, so Texas passed House Bill 62 back in 2017. It's actually called the Alex Brown Memorial Act, named after a teenager who died in a distracted driving crash. What the law says is you cannot send or receive electronic messages while your vehicle is moving. That means texts, emails, anything like that.
So technically, you can use GPS, you can use your phone to play music, but if an officer thinks you're texting, they can pull you over.
Exactly. And there are additional restrictions for specific groups. If you're under 18, you cannot use your phone at all behind the wheel, not even hands-free, for your first 6 months of driving. Drivers of any age cannot use a handheld device in an active school zone, period.
And the fines go up fast. First offense, you're looking at $25 to $99. But here's where people really need to pay attention. If a distracted driver causes serious injury or death, that escalates to a Class A misdemeanor. We're talking fines up to $4,000 and up to a year in jail.
That's not a minor traffic violation at that point. That's a criminal charge. And beyond the criminal side, you're now looking at civil liability. If you hurt someone while driving distracted, your insurance company is on the hook. And if the damages exceed your coverage limits, you personally could be held responsible for the difference.
Which is why this is an insurance conversation, not just a traffic conversation, and it's why having the right coverage in place matters so much. Schell Insurance can review your current policy and make sure your liability limits actually protect you in a worst-case scenario. Call them at 972-423-4546.
Now, let's talk about the local picture, because Collin County and Denton County are not in a vacuum here.
No, not at all. Distracted driving causes over 2,500 crashes every single year in Collin County alone. That leads to roughly 10 fatalities annually just in our county. And the corridors that our listeners drive every single day, US 75, the Dallas North Tollway, the Sam Rayburn Tollway, 35E up through Denton County, those are exactly the highways where these crashes are concentrated.
And that makes sense. You've got heavy commuter traffic, you've got stop and go on the tollway, you've got high speeds on 75. The temptation to check your phone at a stoplight or during a slow crawl is real, but that momentary glance is all it takes.
Here's something that really puts it in perspective. At 55 miles per hour, if you look at your phone for just 5 seconds, which is about the average time it takes to read a text, your vehicle has traveled the length of a football field without your eyes on the road.
That's a terrifying visual. And nationally, distracted driving causes over 3,275 deaths per year and more than 300,000 injuries. And those numbers are almost certainly undercounted because a lot of distracted driving crashes don't get officially classified that way.
So you've got this massive safety crisis, you've got North Texas right in the middle of it, and then you've got the insurance piece on top of all of it. Let's talk about what drivers can actually do, practical steps, because this shouldn't just be doom and gloom.
Okay, first things first, the most effective thing is the obvious one. Put your phone out of reach before you start driving, in a bag, in the back seat, wherever it needs to be so you're not tempted. Most smartphones have a driving mode that silences notifications automatically. Use it. Set up your GPS before you pull out of the driveway.
That's free, costs nothing.
And then on the insurance side, if you've already got a violation on your record or you're worried about your current rates, this is exactly where Schell Insurance earns their reputation. They're not locked into one carrier. They can shop the market and find the company that looks most favorably on your driving history. That kind of comparison shopping is genuinely hard to do on your own.
And there's another tool worth knowing about, telematics programs. These are usage-based insurance options where you install an app or a plug-in device and the carrier monitors your actual driving behavior, speed, braking, how much you're on your phone. Drivers who demonstrate safe habits over that monitored period can actually earn discounts and offset rate increases.
It's one of those things where if you know you're a careful driver, you can put your money where your mouth is and potentially get rewarded for it on your premium.
Schell Insurance can walk you through whether a telematics program makes sense for your situation because, like everything in insurance, it depends on your specific circumstances. Reach them at schellinsurance.com. That's SCHELL insurance.com. Or call 972-423-4546.
I want to come back to something you said earlier about carriers treating violations differently, because I think that's a piece most people don't know is even possible.
It's so true. People assume insurance companies all use the same rate formula, like there's one big rate table everyone draws from. It doesn't work that way. Different carriers have different underwriting philosophies. Some are more aggressive about surcharging for moving violations. Some have programs specifically designed for drivers who've had one incident but have otherwise clean records.
And that's why an independent agency like Schell Insurance is in a fundamentally different position than a captive agent who only works with one company. They can look across multiple carriers simultaneously and tell you honestly who's going to give you the best terms for your specific situation.
There's also the claims piece. If you're in a distracted driving accident and you file a claim, your insurer is going to look at your record. If there's a prior distracted driving citation in addition to the claim, the rate impact compounds. You could go from a preferred rate tier to a standard tier, or even a non-standard tier, and that affects what you pay for years.
And for families with teen drivers, this is critically important. We mentioned that drivers under 18 have stricter phone rules in Texas, but even after they hit 18, they're in a statistically high-risk group for distracted driving. The 20 to 39 age range actually accounts for a large chunk of distracted driving fatalities nationally. So if you've got a college student or young adult on your policy, having that conversation with them about the insurance impact, not just the safety impact, might actually land differently.
Sometimes the financial message hits harder than the safety message for that age group, which isn't ideal, but we work with what works.
Right. And if you've got a young driver on your policy, Schell Insurance can help you structure your coverage to protect your family without overpaying. They understand the Collin County and Denton County market. They know the commuter patterns. They know the risk landscape. That local knowledge genuinely matters.
Let's do a quick recap of the key takeaways before we wrap, because there's a lot here.
First, distracted driving in Texas is illegal. House Bill 62 prohibits electronic messaging while driving. School zones and drivers under 18 have even stricter rules. Violations carry real fines, and if someone is hurt, you're looking at criminal charges.
Second, a distracted driving ticket can raise your auto insurance premium by 21 to 27%, and that increase follows your policy for up to 3 years. An accident on top of a violation compounds the financial damage significantly.
Third, not all insurers penalize violations equally. Working with an independent agency like Schell Insurance means someone is shopping the market on your behalf and finding the carrier that looks most favorably on your driving history.
Fourth, telematics and usage-based insurance programs are a real tool for drivers who've had violations and want to demonstrate improved habits going forward. Ask Schell Insurance whether it makes sense for you.
And fifth, the practical stuff matters. Phone out of reach, driving mode on, GPS set before you go. The 5 seconds it saves you is not worth the 3-year surcharge.
Well said. If you've got questions about your auto insurance or you want to make sure you've got the right coverage in place, the team at Schell Insurance is ready to help. They serve Frisco, McKinney, Plano, Prosper, Allen, and all of Collin and Denton County. Call them at 972-423-4546 or visit them online at schellinsurance.com. That's SCHELL insurance.com. Thanks for listening to Insurance Talk Texas. Drive safe out there and put the phone down.
Put the phone down. We'll see you next week.